the aptly titled One Beer, where Buster, Plucky, and Hampton share a single bottle of beer from Buster's parents' fridge.
Yeah, you can't do that, bro. You can't. You really can't, bro. Cause I see this, especially I see this at a. But I'm gonna want one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, hey, dad. You know what I'm saying? Sunday football. Hey, dad, toss me a beer. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
They call me king for a reason, cause I'm number one. King say, gotta go and get it, nigga. King say, hardest in my city, nigga. King say, new wave, give me my crop, I'm undefeated.
YouTube, what it do? It's your boy King Zay back in the stew, man. I say y'all see the title, man. 10 cartoons that were banned and why. But before we get into this video, y'all see that live with Zay in the bottom, the bottom left? Go ahead and click that link in the description. We will be streaming tonight at 9 p.m. With that being said, man, let's get straight into this video, man. Let's see why these shows got banned.
Cartoons.
And
Nothing
I'm
more
busting down on the
innocent than
PB&J.
sitting down
Okay.
on your couch, watching the exploits of colorful, animated characters going on one wacky adventure after another. Or, well, you'd think it was that way, but apparently the strangest things can set people off in various corners of the world, resulting in these animated adventures having specific episodes or even the whole show outright banned or taken off the air. From the usual
Whoa!
episodes or even the whole show outright banned or
I did not know this was in Steven Universe. I mean, I never really watched it, but this is
taken off the air.
whoa.
From the usual, sadly predictable causes to the more bizarre, let's take a look at why these 10 cartoons in particular got hit with the dreaded ban.
You put your lips together and blow. Like this.
Just to prove
Peppa
that
the
no
Pig got
cartoon is
banned?
safe from bans all around the world, let's set our sights on a British children's television sensation, the inescapable Peppa Pig. Sure, nothing this innocent could possibly stir controversy, right?
I'm trying to
Well, maybe not the show itself, but the various grotesque memes and strange YouTube videos surrounding it managed to get it banned in China. And no, we aren't showing any of those because, good God. Supposedly, all these dark jokes related to the character, quote, promotes a gangster culture of slackers and poorly
gangster
educated
culture.
people, end quote. Yeah, I'm as confused as you are. Meanwhile, Australia had a slightly more understandable reason for banning a specific episode, namely Mr. Skinny Legs, where Peppa learns that house spiders are harmless. While that may be true in Britain, Australian wildlife being what it is, the country is home to some truly terrifying poisonous
Definitely.
spiders that you do not want to find
No
crawling
cap.
around your living room. So,
Everything in Australia is like 10 times bigger than these in the US for real.
yeah, good call, mates. Pokemon is no stranger to controversy. You've probably all heard the stories of how it was accused of promoting Satanism and witchcraft in the US, since it was a show all about summoning creatures with special abilities.
I
Or
mean,
how
I
the
guess.
episode Electric Soldier Porygon gave hundreds of kids in Japan seizures, but one country that outright banned the anime series as a whole would be Saudi Arabia, because the concept of Pokemon evolving to new forms was seen as promoting Darwin's theory of evolution, which goes against the fundamental Islamic
That's a
doctrine.
reach.
Pokemon Go
That's
also
a
came under
reach.
fire for promoting gambling and polytheism, which, for those of you who don't know, is the belief in more than one god. Sorry, Pokemon, this is one corner of the world your franchise will never conquer. Proving that a cartoon doesn't have to be made for children
Now,
in
The
order to stir up
Simpsons?
some trouble, we
Yeah,
have that
I
never-ending
can
sitcom
definitely
to
see
end all
why.
sitcoms, The Simpsons. Despite how generally family-friendly it is seen as being today, it really did take many risks and had more edge than most comedy series airing on TV back when it debuted. Naturally, such a show is hardly afraid of poking fun at just about everyone and everything. But China felt they went one step too far when they started doing stories that featured the ever politically active Lisa Simpson supporting the Tibetan independence movement. Granted, that's not the only joke about the, let's just say, complicated relationship China has with Tibet. In one episode, we get a glance at the nearest Chinatown and find out that it features a neighborhood called Tibet Town, which has barbed wire around it. Clearly,
The fuck is
China
they
did
doing?
not find this funny at all and were quick to ban the series entirely for it. Dope! There's a good chance that even if you've never actually seen the show, you are still familiar with the two teenage numbskulls,
I never
Beavis
watched
and
it, but I
Butthead,
definitely
their
know what it
hilarious
is.
take on music criticism that aired on MTV back in the early 90s. These two wienerheads, as one content disclaimer so affectionately calls them, were actually a pretty big deal, quickly becoming a huge pop culture phenomenon, and apparently enticing children to commit arson. In 1993, a 5-year-old boy in Ohio set fire to his home, which tragically resulted in the death of his 2-year-old sister. According to the boy's mother, he loved watching Beavis and Butthead, which often sees Beavis expressing a pyromaniac streak, particularly in the episode The Comedians. Episodes focusing on Beavis's fascination with fire were quickly removed from the air, and the show was scrubbed pretty much completely clean of references to it in other episodes. Mom had a chicken, Mom had a cow,
Yeah.
this show got banned.
My
and we
parents never let me. I say parents like I got a dad. Anyways, my mom never let me watch this show.
Want to know how? Well, it's actually not all that strange, all things considered. This surreal 90s Cartoon Network classic already rubbed a lot of people the wrong way all over the board, with its constant gross-out humor style and its endless sexual innuendos, and I am sure that this bright red shiny butt belonging to a literal devil didn't help matters either. But neither the show's cheek or the characters' cheeks are what got this show banned in India.
They
Cows are
bodacious, ain't it?
famously considered sacred animals there, and the big bovines are not to be
that
disturbed
makes-
or messed with in any way. And since the show was just as eager to throw painful slapstick at cow as it was with chicken, it certainly didn't sit well with the Indian population,
Yeah,
resulting in the show getting a
understandable.
ban. The episode Buffalo Gals didn't fare well in the US either, since the
Oh,
entire
yeah, the
episode
carpet
is
munching?
not just absolutely
I heard
packed
about that
with
episode.
sexual innuendos,
Yeah.
but also relies heavily on less than flattering lesbian stereotypes.
Yeah.
Sometimes a cartoon's controversy is, I guess you could say,
Shrek had a
territorial.
cartoon?
When Shrek became a massive hit all over the world, a sequel wasn't far behind, and it was happy to indulge in more risque humor than most of the other
Risque.
animated movies at the time. Countries that dubbed the film followed suit, throwing in jokes about local celebrities wherever they could. Well, in Israel, that led to a line where a character threatens to do a David Doer on someone, implying
What's
that
that
they
mean?
intend to castrate him and give him a high-pitched voice like the popular Israeli singer. Well, Doer did not take too kindly to the joke and subsequently sued the distributors.
Wow.
While the case went on, and eventually it returned with the line changed to the much more direct, "Let's take a sword and neuter him." Have fun imagining Shrek characters castrating people, kids. Okay, back to something more innocent, like
Winnie
say,
the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh. After all, it's a delightful franchise based around a children's book series starring a young boy playing with all his stuffed animals named after the actual toys belonging to the author's son. How could that possibly offend anyone? Well, if it can do it in any way, it's apparently by constantly implying that someone looks like the silly old bear. China's president Xi Jinping has long been the target of various memes that liken his appearance to the Tubby Teddy, and he famously absolutely loathes this comparison, resulting in just about anything related to Winnie the Pooh himself being banned in China. This
Wow.
includes any and all media that happens to so much as reference the memes in question, like what infamously happened with the Taiwanese indie horror game Devotion back in 2018,
That's
which
crazy.
had one such meme as a
Bro
placeholder
got
art
offended and
asset
really
that the
banned it. That's
developers
really how
forgot
stuff
to
work in
remove
China.
before
That's
release.
scary, actually.
You'd never think such a friendly little bear could make anyone this angry. In the most modern example on our list, we have the Cartoon Network hit Steven Universe, which was widely hailed for its handling of any number of real-world issues that rarely get touched upon in cartoons. In particular, the show is praised for how progressive and inclusive it is, featuring plenty of characters who span all across the LGBTQ+ community. In fact, it holds the distinction of being one of the very, very few cartoons to openly show a same-sex wedding. But, sadly and predictably, this has caused
Yeah, that and Arthur.
the show
I think
to come
Arthur
under
did it
massive
too.
fire in many places. Kenya in particular outright banned the show, as according to LGBTQ rights researcher Neela Ghoshal, Kenya's courts consider same-sex couples second-class citizens and their lifestyle outright illegal. In the theme song to this early 90s classic, Buster Bunny brags, "We crack up all the censors." And, well, yeah, that may be true, but you also have a real knack for ticking them off with nothing more than a single bottle of beer. See, back in the 1980s, there was a big push for cartoons in America to include educational material and strong moral values, resulting in the production of any number of PSAs about basically any and all subjects you could possibly imagine. In particular, warning children against doing drugs and drinking alcohol were prevalent. Tiny
Yeah.
Toon Adventures, never being a show that shied away from satire, decided to take these PSAs to their absolute extreme in the aptly titled One Beer, where Buster, Plucky, and Hampton share a single bottle of beer from Buster's parents' fridge.
Yeah, you can't do that, bro. You can't. You really can't, bro. Cause I see this, especially I see this at a but I'm gonna want one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, hey dad, you know what I'm saying? Sunday football, hey dad, toss me a beer. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
This almost
You
instantly
can't.
turns the three of them into obnoxiously loud, bumbling, sexist idiots, and before you know it, they steal a police car and kill themselves by drunk driving right off a cliff. The episode was clearly meant to be an exaggeration, not to be taken at all
What?
seriously, but not even showing the characters walking off set talking about how on the nose the whole thing was saved the episode from being almost instantly banned. You'd think a Batman show that tries to recapture the carefree, silly Silver Age of comic books would be safer from scrutiny than The Dark Knight usually is, but nope. Batman Brave and the Bold still managed to have one episode that the censors just couldn't handle. In The Mask of Matches Malone, a trio consisting of Catwoman, Huntress, and Black Canary get busted while trying to sneak into one of Two-Face's hideouts, and quickly decide to pretend to be lounge singers in order to get out of their predicament. And that would be fine if the song wasn't a solid 3-minute-long joke about how not one superhero other than Batman has anything whatsoever going on underneath those brightly colored undies of theirs. From The Flash being too fast to Aquaman's little fish, the innuendos proved too much, and the episode was delayed from airing in order to animate an alternate shot to replace a particular hand gesture from Huntress. Sorry, folks. Teeny superhero weenie jokes are for paying customers only.
What can I say? I'm a girl with a taste for only the finest.
Oh, give me a break. Well, all this just goes to show that wherever you are and what...
Man, band at the Aaron. I probably should watch that. We probably watch that one next time. But hey, y'all like this video, you know what I'm saying? Comment down below what y'all thought of it. Comment down below what y'all want to see next. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, leave a like. It's your boy King Zay signing out, man. Peace.